Welcome back to Houston Life. Diwali is the annual Indian festival of lights that celebrates the triumph of good over evil. And today we're highlighting Musaafer, a modern Indian restaurant. It's in the Galleria area. You can enjoy a special Diwali-inspired menu there.
Yeah, and Musaafer's corporate executive chef, Mayank Istwal, is here with more on Diwali and how the restaurant is celebrating this year. I'm glad you guys are so busy this time of year. The restaurant is absolutely beautiful. And what's incredible about an experience at Musaafer is the restaurant's beautiful. This food is also next level. I mean, special training, culinary school. How did you learn how to create this?
So while growing up, my father was a caterer. So, you know, like I was thrown into the kitchens at the age of 8. He really wanted me to take care of the business in the future. But I think I used to love fire in general. That was my first love. I know it's...
No, it's exciting. It's exciting for you.
I used to love fire. And when I turned 16, I told my dad, this is what I really want to do. I want to be a chef.
Wow.
He was quite upset about it. You know, Indian parents sometimes. So, but because he was building this whole business like so that I can like take over.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
And look at this adorable photo.
This is a picture of you. Is that
my grandfather?
With your grandfather. And you say your grandparents were really your mentors. How so?
Yes. So my grandfather, he was a doctor in allopathy, and then while he retired, then his prime focus was on Ayurvedic medicine.
Okay.
The holistic medicine.
Okay.
You know, even homeopathy takes its roots from Ayurveda. So I used to go foraging with him and, you know, like learning about the plants in the nature and then coming back and, you know, cooking with my grandmother and him as well. Everybody was like excellent cooks at home. So
really?
Like taking inspiration from the age-old recipes that they had, and they used to share it with me, and, you know, that all started very early. So it was like fascinating, you know, like this entire journey of like learning the science of the plants and then fusing it with the food and making the food as a medicine.
And that's incredible to me. We saw a photo with you and I believe your grandmother, correct?
Yes, yes.
Just a moment ago. And so the influence that not only your family had on your culinary career, but also your curiosity about the world. Is it true Musaafer actually means traveler?
Exactly.
And you have a love of travel.
Yes, I went on a 100-day journey to all 29 states of India. And that was very exciting. You know, the beauty was I was cooking with the home chefs, you know, like home cooks, the grandmothers, you know, and they pass on these recipes from generations to generations. And, you know, like, I don't know how many years these recipes been in the family.
Yeah.
And they were very happy to share those recipes with me and, you know, like, and the spice blends. And then we were also working with the spice plantation people. So we're getting all these spices from different plantations from all around India. And then at least we know the origin of our spices.
Yes.
It's so important, like, and it's organically grown. And, you know, if you buy from a shelf on HEB, wherever you go, you don't know the origin of the spices.
Right.
At least we know the origin of the spices, how it grows, you know, we have that connection with the spices. And spices are medicinal. You know, like every season, the spices change because in the summers, you want to focus on the cooling spices. It's so important because cooling spices will bring cooling in your body. And then if you hit the winters, you need a lot of warming spices in your food. It's all medicinal.
Absolutely.
So,
Wow, that's fascinating.
I think there is this movement to go towards, hey, eat for your health, as opposed to like knowing, as opposed to, okay, we're just going to eat whatever's on the shelf. I was looking at your 100-day journey, the video from that. It's pretty incredible, but 100 days summed up in 30 seconds of video, that really doesn't do it justice.
Yes.
What did you take from that experience and like imply culinary-wise to the restaurant? What do you think?
So I think the one learning that I can share here is, you know, be humble to your roots. It's so important. Because, you know, like I went to Australia, I went all around the world sharpening my culinary skills. But I came back to India because those are my roots. It's so important to be your roots. And then you can absolutely, it's a modern Indian restaurant. With your culinary skills, you can just elevate the whole thing to a whole new different level. And I always believe in like, there are 5 senses, right? And then I focus, if you see my food, there's a lot of textures in it, you hear that, right? It smells good. You know, all the 5 senses are activated, but through the great storytelling in the restaurant, if you can activate the 6th sense, or you tickle it, it's so important, right? You connect with your diners. You know, you don't want to give that stiff service to the diners. It's so important, just tickling that 6th sense, that is my motto. And then I learned it from going back again to the journey because I was learning all these beautiful stories around food. It's so important we tell these stories to the diners when they come dine in with us, so it takes the whole experience to a whole new different level. As I said, tickling the sixth sense is so important.
Tickling the sixth sense. We're getting some close-up shots right now of some of these beautiful creations.
Yes.
You know that old saying, you got to know the rules before you break the rules? That comes to mind during this chat because it seems like traveling through all these different regions of India, you got the basics down and now it's just playtime. You're able to infuse all these different flavors and colors from the various regions in India, as evident by these beautiful dishes you've created. Okay, so what do you say we take a quick break and then get into some of the dishes? Also, we got to chat more about Diwali and the significance of this annual
Let's do that.
holiday.
Let's do that. Don't go anywhere, Houston Life. We'll be right back. We're going to share a recipe you can create at home and get into the Diwali spirit.
Welcome back to Houston Life. We are back with executive chef Mayank Istwal from local Indian restaurant Musaafer in the Galleria.
So Diwali, the annual Indian Festival of Lights, begins this year, October 31st.
November 1st, October 31st.
Right,
Yes.
right.
It's an overlap. They see the planetary moments and so.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Musaafer is going to have a Diwali-inspired menu. So that's why we're here. That's why you have a vegetarian-inspired. What is this, kale pata? Is that how you say it?
Yes, kale patta, yes. Patta is like a leaf. So,
okay.
A kale leaf, literally translated.
You're going to teach us how to do that. But in the break, we were kind of talking about the things we didn't get to on your resume, how you graduated from the Institute of Hotel Management, how that's part of your service, and then you're recognized by, is it Condé Nast Traveler?
Nast.
Yeah, Condé Nast Traveler as one of the top 13 chefs bringing Indian cuisine to the world. That's quite the achievement.
Absolutely. I believe in hard work, so graduating from that college was a big deal, back in the time in 2008. Then never looked back after that. I went on a journey all around the world, came back to India. And then, yes, I cooked for a lot of big celebrities as well at the same time.
Yeah, you've encountered people like Richard Gere, Bill Nye,
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, so there was a movie shoot that was happening, the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. And then I was cooking for them for 2 months. So, they were like friends. I was just talking to him every day. Zuri Dench and then Bill Nighy, everybody. It was a fascinating experience. Believe me, like a dream come true.
Well, you're a science guy in your own right, creating all this delicious cuisine. Yeah. So you brought a candle for us to light. Can you tell people what the significance of us lighting the candle is?
Yes. So when Lord Ram came back to Ayodhya, his kingdom.
I'll do it one of these
yes.
You can tell the whole story, and I probably still won't have lit it.
Yes.
Live TV. Go ahead.
No, I will just light.
But don't stop telling the story.
Yes. So go ahead. We can all do it together, yeah. So when he came back to his kingdom, the people were so happy. They lit a lot of candles just for his welcome. And it was like good over evil. He defeated a demon. Mm-hmm. So when he came back, people were so happy that he came back after 14 years of exile in the forest and defeating a demon. So they were so happy that he came back. So that's the reason we always celebrate Diwali in his comeback to his kingdom.
That's beautiful.
Yes, and Diwali literally means like row of lights. Row of lights. That's the reason you see in the front there's a row of lights.
Beautiful.
Well, this Diwali is the most important Indian holiday celebrated during the calendar year.
Exactly. It's very important to every Buddhism or Jainism or Hinduism or Sikhism.
Yeah.
There's so many different cultures in India, and this one festival connects everybody.
Wow.
So everybody comes home. They're so happy. They'll be eating a lot of sweets because that is the time when you share sweets. All the family members are there. We cook great food. We make the charts. So important,
Food connects everybody. So
everybody.
Show us how to make this. Show us how to make this recipe. Tell us what it is again and show us how to make it.
Yes, is the kale patta chaat.
Okay.
So I'll tell you the meaning of the chaat. Chaat literally means to lick something. So all the taste buds on their tongue all comes together.
Okay.
It's like a lingering effect. So this is the yogurt, right? And we'll quickly make a spice blend here. These are the fenugreek seeds, the nigella seeds.
And in this yogurt
coriander
mixture,
seeds.
we're seeing the ingredients on the screen. What is in that yogurt mixture?
So these are the ingredients that goes in the yogurt mixture.
Different spices.
Yes.
Okay.
I always promote, pestle and mortar. This traditional way of doing the spices. You keep grinding it, and you start smelling it. It's amazing. The sound, and it's like whole experience that you go through when you make these blends, right? And then you add that to this yogurt. And then, I have this nice cutter. What we'll do now is we have pre-boiled potatoes and the chickpeas, right? And we're gonna just put these in, yeah.
And dining out at Musaafer, by the way, it's been a minute since I've stopped by the restaurant. I need to go by. Tessa, you would love this spot.
I need to go.
It truly is such an experience. In fact, I think I should take my mom there because she would love it. It truly is unlike any dining experience I've had, but that's part of what you set out to do, right?
Yes, exactly. And then we have this tamarind gel, right? Like
tamarind gel. And so this is one of the items, the special Diwali-inspired menu items we can find.
Yes, on the menu.
How long will these special items be available?
So it's till 1st of November.
Okay.
Yes.
For the next week.
Yes, we already started last week on Friday, and it'll be available till 1st of November.
Nice.
Yes. And so now you see the two chutneys are there. One is like a tangy, sweet. It's so important to bring all these flavors together, right? And then we have these dumplings that are made out of the lentils.
Oh, wow.
They are like soaked in the same sweet yogurt. We're going to put these dumplings right here. So you soak the urad dal, the lentils, overnight, and then you make a batter, and then you make these dumplings. You deep fry it.
Delicious.
Yes. And then I have these chips that I made.
Are those pickle chips?
These are like made out of habanero and potato.
Oh, yum.
Yes. So it brings a nice crunch and a little kick to the dish.
Okay.
So important. And then we have the pomegranate. I just love pomegranate. The sweetness of the pomegranate, the burst of flavors that you get through that is so important. So right here, I'm throwing some pomegranate, and then I will put more chutneys around.
Okay.
It's like a work of art. Whoever said a vegetarian dish is always boring.
Oh my gosh.
Shine.
This is next
at
level.
Musaafer. That's beautiful.
Yes.
So many flavors.
Look at that.
Yeah. And now we have this beautiful kale pata, or we just place it on top, just like that.
It almost looks too beautiful to eat, Chef. So what's the best way to eat this?
We have to mix it all together. That's the way to eat it. But do you want to like plate it up?
Yeah, let's plate it. I want Derek to try it. You want me to do a round or just right here?
You can do that way. Boom. You can put little dots in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dig into this.
Yes, just try to have this chutney, the potatoes.
Derek, you're going to eat it. Though. We got to go to break. Chef Mayank Istwal, thank you so much. You can experience this Diwali-inspired menu at Musaafer from now until November 1st. Just make sure you make a reservation and then look for this recipe on the Scene on Houston Life section of our website, houstonlife.tv. We'll be right back.